Okay, so this is the plan to grow my business from 10,000 a month to 50,000 a month. Now, for a bit of context, I run a website development agency, which I don't pitch like that. We'll get into that in a second and the reasons why. But essentially, I'm wanting to grow a business that is not just purely service, that can also have courses and maybe some consulting just to have it be a little bit more scalable. And then eventually off the back of that, maybe I can even launch some software. All right, so in terms of this video, we're gonna cover when I say plan, I'm referring mostly to the marketing plan. Reason being is because theoretically, if I have a dial that I can turn to get as many clients as I want, then that makes things a little bit simpler. Whereas at the moment, I'm like jumping between two boats, bailing water out of delivery when things get busy, and then jumping back to marketing, bailing water out there, and then jumping back and forth. And so I figured, let's just jump into the marketing boat, bail it out, plug all the holes, and then I don't have to worry about it as much. And then I can focus on the delivery side. So let's dive into it. The goal is 50,000 a month. Let's say I'm gonna earn 10,000 per client, which the way things are going, I'm starting to get some bigger clients. I think that is achievable. Currently, it's a little bit lower than that, but I think I could work up to that, which for the amount of effort we deliver at the moment, it should probably be double that, but I won't go into that. Cool, so that means 5 clients, nothing groundbreaking there. In order to get 5 clients, based on my historical close rate, meaning out of all the chats I have with people, about 1 out of 4 become a client. And so I'm gonna need 20 calls a month, which I'm gonna do weekly just because it just seems a bit easier to me. So that would be about 5 calls per week. And that's basically 1 per business day. So this is the number that we're aiming for. So marketing system, step 1, this step took me ages to find. For whatever reason, people aren't talking about it. And from the test that I've done so far, it's made a huge difference to my marketing. And that is positioning. Positioning essentially looks at what makes your business unique and how to communicate that to people so that you stop going head to head with competitors and set yourself up as the only option that solves a particular problem. When I first started my website development agency, I pitched myself as a high converting website developer that built beautiful websites, which is great, but a lot of people say that, and so it doesn't really stand out. Essentially what I've done now after going through these activities is positioning myself as I build websites that help experts look like experts. And the reason looking like an expert is important is because it's the only way to get pre-sold inquiries into your business. As part of the positioning, you then go through and create your own frameworks on how you achieve this. So for me, I'd first help with positioning. I then help with collecting a business's expertise, the years of experience that they have, but isn't shown anywhere. And so they can look the exact same as a business that started last month, even though they have 10 years. So that's a big problem. And then the third step is I work on creating a website that showcases them as an expert and does their business justice. By doing this step, it sets me apart in the industry and claims my own little space. And then on top of that, when I add that I only help service and coaching businesses, it then makes it even harder to compare to someone else. Before doing this exercise, I ran a mini Facebook test, which I'll go into all the details of this a little bit later in the video. But I ran a mini test, spent $150 and didn't get any inquiries or any leads from that. I ran the test again after doing the positioning, and with $70, so half the amount, in 1 week I got 6 leads from that campaign. If you're curious about what exactly goes into positioning, here's the 10-second summary. There's 3 main areas that need to be considered. First is your customers. What outcome do they want from you? Not what service do you provide, what outcome do you provide? Outcomes are a lot easier to sell. The next thing is competitors. What are your competitors saying or offering? And then the third thing is looking at your company. What are you doing that is unique, or what's your process? Combining these 3 things together by connecting your service to the outcome, by saying something different to your competitors, creating your own unique process or highlighting the bits of your business that's already unique, then essentially establishes your positioning, and then you communicate that to your clients efficiently. So that's step 1. Step 2 is then getting the traffic. The plan for this is mostly content. So I found in the past when I was posting shorts on most social media platforms, I got about maybe 5,000 views per video. So that's what I'm going to be doing again. That got quite a lot of conversation started and drove quite a bit of traffic. I'll show you how I'm planning to actually take that traffic and turn them into clients, which is actually going to be the next step. That was the second kind of key that I missed, like positioning, that I just didn't see people talking about much. So the next one is LinkedIn, and the third one is Facebook ads. Now, Alex Amosi says one channel up to 1 million. Have a current mentor that says do all of them. So I'm kind of going somewhere in the middle. Content is going to be my main focus. The other two are really just let's have a stab, keen to learn. If it's not working from the get-go, I'll just ditch it. So LinkedIn is just going to be keeping it simple. I'm just going to be connecting with people. I actually had a call booked in the other day just by having good messaging on my LinkedIn profile and just connecting with people with blank connection requests. They've performed the highest for me for some reason, just sending a blank connection. I can maybe dive into what I'm doing exactly in LinkedIn in a future video, but yeah, blank connection request, and then I'm just going to be sending them a message offering a free resource. Facebook is going to be running ads to this free resource, which is essentially the next step. Free resource. The reason this is so important is because we want to get people's emails. Now, I always used to think like, oh, okay, like emails, why do you want emails? You're going to email people, that's kind of like scammy. I've been realizing though, with emails is the only way to own the relationship with the client. Basically, you can, as the business, become Facebook, where instead of paying Facebook to rent the audience and show your ads to those people, you can then own the connection and show your ads straight away or directly. Now, the key that really helped me get on board with this is realizing that it's not about sending emails about your business. Why should somebody care is always a question that you should bear in mind as a business owner. That's helped me a lot. So why should somebody care? Well, if it's about your business, they probably won't. If it's about something that can help them, then it becomes interesting, right? So the prompt that helped me with this is thinking, or knowing rather, if somebody got an email with a link to get $1,000 deposited in their bank account every week, they'd probably never unsubscribe. So how can I write emails that are really helpful so that the people that are trying to get this outcome care about it? So for me, my emails are going to be all about one concept that can be digested in under 1 minute, sent only once a week so that it's not overwhelming, or helping people establish themselves as experts in their field. And so that's why positioning is so helpful. It helps you focus on what's important. Cool, so that's the reason for getting emails. Another thing that opened my eyes to this is I had a friend that built an audience on LinkedIn and then started a newsletter off the back of that, which I thought was dead. But anyway, he ended up getting tens of thousands of followers and sold his newsletter. And so I started digging into things and I had a look. Turns out there was a newsletter in the US called The Milk Road. I think they got, I can't remember the exact amount. I think it was 250,000 followers, something like that in the space of a year. And they ended up selling it for like 5 million US. And that was just the newsletter that was being monetized via ads in the newsletter. And so I thought, man, if that many people in the newsletter take action through those links, which generates the revenue for the business, which ultimately means it can sell for what it did, then imagine if it was me just being the sponsor of those links. So I had one newsletter with really good content in there, and then at the end, just a PS statement with, hey, if you're looking to dive deeper, this is how I can help you. So that's the strategy. I've done a bit of research. Seems like that works quite well, but I'll have to keep you posted on that. We're getting started with that pretty much today. So started reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Content will be next week. Facebook ads will be tomorrow. So by next week, Friday, I'll be able to give you an update on that. That's the emails. Free resource. The reason the free resource is so helpful, let me show you this. This is the analytics dashboard for one of my clients. She's a leadership coach with a couple 100,000 social media followers. Essentially what I want to point out here is the difference of subscribers she gets from giving out a free resource first. Basically everyone that lands on this page, she gets a 67% conversion rate. 67% of the people that land on this page end up entering their email to get her free resource. If we compare it to her page where it's just talking about her weekly newsletter, she gets a 36% conversion rate, meaning 36 out of 100 people. So it's basically double for the people that get the free resource. And then the first email is just, hey, you're interested in this topic, so I'm adding you to my mailing list or newsletter. This is an example of what you're going to be getting. And then every week it's that. Or if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe, that kind of thing. So that's the plan. I'll let you know how it goes. Back to this, free resource to emails to booking a call, and then it's simply seeing if those people want to work together. So let's dive into the numbers of this. So previously I got about 5,000 views per short form video. the plan is to post 3 a week in the beginning. So that would be about 15,000 views in a week. And from memory, I think it was around a 1% conversion rate of people who view the content end up getting a free resource that I have, something like that. So that means I'll get about 150 free resource downloads or emails. This is obviously gonna vary depending on a lot of things, so I'll keep you updated with how this actually goes. But this is roughly the concept. So that's 150 emails. Now, from those emails, I'm anticipating emails to have a conversion rate of, say, like 2%. So 2% of the people that subscribe to the email list will end up booking in a call. Now, this is not necessarily perfect because people that obviously see my content may go straight to the website and then book a call straight away if they're really keen. But a lot of people, from what I've realized, and again, another benefit of emails, is that most of the time people aren't ready to buy straight away. I'll prove this to you. So if we jump back to this dashboard, this is the links page of this client. And this is basically the first page people come to from social media. We can have a look at all the options. There's a book, group coaching, free resource, one-to-one coaching, website, book a call. So there's been 7 people click on book a call over the last month, which has resulted in 2 calls booked, which is not bad. In terms of the free checklist though, there's been 110 people that have gotten that free checklist. So she's gotten 110 emails from that and 2 booked calls. The crazy part with this is the last time we chatted, she mentioned that about half her calls get booked through her email, which is crazy. So 50% come directly through her website and about 50% come through the email. So I'm going to be assuming about 2% of the people in the emails book. This means if I get 100 subscribers or 100 free resource downloads in a week, I'll get 2 calls booked. My goal is to get 5 calls booked per week. And so I would need 250 people to enter their email address. And that'll give me 5 calls, assuming that all my calls are only booked through the newsletter. All right, so now I know how many email addresses I need. So I need 250 people to get a free resource. If I post 3 videos a week, that'll potentially get me around 150 emails. And so if I double that and post roughly a video a day, that'll hit that limit straight away. And so now I start to have a bit of a system. In the beginning, I'm gonna be starting a bit slower just because I can't deal with that amount of work. But my next phase is to really work out what are these exact numbers so that I do have a bit of a dial to turn. I can increase the content and all of that. Just rounding this out with LinkedIn and Facebook. Currently, I connect with 100 people a week on LinkedIn. I say I, but I've really just hired a VA to do this because it's tedious and takes a decent amount of time. 40% of them accept the connection request. I don't really have data on how many of them are gonna give me the email. Basically, I'm sending them a message offering this free resource and in exchange asking for the email to know where to send it to. So we'll see how that goes. But let's say it's also maybe around 2%, something like that. Normal conversion rates are about like 1 to 4%, somewhere around there. So 2% conversion rate, that means out of those 40, we're looking at about 1 person a week. Which is not that much. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, this isn't really something that I can scale up, but I'll get some initial data around this. If this is not really working, then I'll drop it. But just super curious to see how that goes. The next thing is Facebook. Previously, before doing the positioning work, I ran an ad on Facebook just as a bit of a test. Simple image, offering up the free website checklist that I developed, and I spent $150 and I got 0 leads. I went through the positioning work, focused more on the outcome, and then created another ad, which was also just a simple image ad, headline being, thinking about getting a new website, here's everything you need to know in order to create a website that establishes you as an expert in your industry. And in 1 week, with half the amount of ad spend, so $70, I got 6 people that downloaded that. And that's without even really testing and improving that. The reason I stopped it, like don't tell anyone, cheeky, I didn't actually develop the resource yet. I didn't want to build it and then test the ads. So I just ran some ads, stopped it after I got 6 people and knew that people wanted it. I then built it and then sent that out And now we're going to start running the ads again tomorrow, basically. So I know I've got a bit of traction with the ads currently. I don't know how they will go in terms of actually converting, but we can make some assumptions and then in the future we can work out how it actually goes. What I do know so far is one of the ads that we put out, we split tested two. One of them got a lead for $10. So let's say $10 per lead. If I'm gonna then need 250 leads to get 5 calls, I'll need 50 leads in order to get 1 call. 50 leads costs $500 for 50 leads, which essentially means it's $500 per call. Now this becomes a little bit more scalable, right? If these are the actual numbers in terms of the emails, this becomes really cool because now I can just turn that dial a lot more and a lot easier than content because it's no effort on my part. And if I need more calls one week, I can just increase that. So I'm super curious to see how this goes. Again, if this doesn't really pan out for whatever reason, I'll just drop it and I'll go back to the content only. And that's basically it. So that's the plan to get to $50,000 a month worth of inquiries coming in. I'll keep you posted on how this goes. My plan is to post one of these videos each week. My goal is to be your friend figuring out the marketing for their business so that you can learn and do things a lot quicker and a lot cheaper than I did. So if this kind of thing is helpful and you'd like to follow along, feel free to subscribe. Anyway, that's it for now. Catch ya.